Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Reema Tendulkar, with me Sonal Bhutra, and these are the top stories that we're tracking right now. Midcaps outperform larger peers even as the Nifty and the Sensex scale fresh record highs powered by a global risk-on rally. The street views US Fed Chair Powell comments dovish. IT metals lead the gains on expiry day while FMCG and auto lag.
The mid-cap IT pack surges as the street begins pricing in the likelihood of smaller rate hikes by central banks. L&T Tech Services, Emphasis and Persistent Systems gain 3 to 9% intraday.
Mixed bag of sales from automakers in November. Escorts Kubota reaps healthy growth in local sales, while Ashok Leyland sees medium and heavy commercial vehicle sales zoom. VST Tillers, meanwhile, reports a 5% dip year-on-year.
Hatsun Agro surges as the board is set to consider a rights issue later this week. This after announcing a 400 crore rights issue in September this year.
Shilpa Medicare gains after its Unit 4 in Telangana gets a good manufacturing practice approval from Canada's health regulator.
Okay, those are the top headlines that we are tracking on Midcap Radar today. For the markets, it is steady. We have gains of around 90 points on the Nifty, and across the board we are seeing a lot of buying coming in. Actually, no, Nifty has fallen from the highs. My system was not updating. So yes, there is some fall from the highs. Bank Nifty is in the red right now. Bank Nifty is down 13 points as we speak, and there is some selling in the Nifty as well. It's only mid-cap side of things which are doing well. And if you look at what is actually causing this fall, it's IndusInd Bank which is lower right now. Kotak Mahindra Bank is the other one. So across the banking names, we are seeing this fall from the top. So those stocks will come up for you on the screen. We have HDFC Bank, which is lower right now. We also have ICICI Bank, which has fallen from the top. So all these stocks are actually, these major names are leading to the fall that we are seeing. Reema, after hitting that record high consecutively for 4 days, I don't think anyone would be complaining about this. But yes, there is some sign of profit taking from the top.
Indeed. In fact, if you just map the Nifty and the mid-cap index, it's a tale of two cities, right? The Nifty's been coming down like this and the mid-cap index has gone up. I don't know if it's a mirror image, actually, when you see it on the screen.
No, but if you realize you have kids going to school who are making images like that.
But if you superimpose the two charts together, you would see that the Nifty opened a lot higher, closer to that 18,900 mark. And from there, it slipped close to about 0.5% from the top of the trading session. We're at such large levels that even if the Nifty slips about 60-70 points from the top, it doesn't make too much of a dent. But we have given up a bit of ground, particularly in the last 10 minutes. As Sonal pointed out, it's largely an account of the banks, the private sector banks like ICICI Bank, IndusInd Bank, etc. But mid-caps continue to do exceedingly well. And just take a look at the way IT is moving up, right? Particularly mid-cap IT. Yeah. Pull up the intraday charts of, say, an L&T Technology. It's now up 8%. Birlasoft 6.5%. Emphasis is up 5.5%. And one of the reasons is this is the space where the stocks are still very far away from their 52-week high levels. It's like, for instance, L&T Infotech, which is getting merged with Mindtree, is about 33%, 34% away from its lifetime high levels. So the street is now clearly latching on to the IT names right now because the global outlook is a lot better, especially on the valuation front. And secondly, also because these stocks have been ranked underperformers. But we'll talk about the other mid-caps that are moving around. This is Midcap Movers. Vivek is here.
Well, good afternoon. You can't really start without mentioning the kind of moves that mid-cap IT is seen, along with the names that you actually mentioned, Mastech as well as Birlasoft today. Even these stocks have sharply surged from their recent lows and continue to move upwards. Moving on, looking at some of the stocks that have actually hit their fresh 52-week high in today's trading session. Have a look at this company, BLS International Services. The visa maker, this particular stock continues to hit a fresh 52-week high. Iron Exchange, the water solution provider, today moving on very strong volumes as well. AB Capital, in the last 2 weeks, this particular stock has moved almost 30%. And you're also looking at KRBL as well as Cummins hitting their fresh 52-week high in today's trading session. On the other hand, when you're talking about some of the stocks that are seeing very strong volumes when you're comparing it to either your 5-day or 20-day average, some of the stocks that have hit the radar, HPL Electric, Deccan Gold Mines, after a very long time, this particular stock is seeing very strong moves. Dalmia Bharat, now this particular stock is up for 8 straight sessions and continues to move up on strong volumes today. And even NIIT today is moving up on strong volumes. On the other hand, which are the stocks that are seeing a bit of a sell-off? GIC RE is seeing a sell-off today. Lemon Tree, Mahindra Logistics as well as NCC, despite getting an order win. We'll wait for any other news that comes in as far as NCC is concerned. But this particular stock is moving quite sharply lower in today's trading session.
Yes, it is. Vivek, thank you so much for joining us and telling us which stocks in the broader markets are moving around. With that, let's move on to an important story. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 PSU oil companies are seeking over 22,000 crore worth of fiscal relief on fuel-linked cash losses. Government may look at options, but headroom is limited. Remember, they had also provided a grant of 22,000 crore rupees for LPG as well. Sapna is joining us with more details. Sapna, what are you picking up here?
Yeah, hi. So absolutely right. This is a pitch being made by the oil cos, and I think the reasons are very clear. If you look at the Q1, Q2, losses put together, of course, Q2 has trended lower also because of the LPG support which came through. The losses are over 21,000 crores, so that's a fact. So you may, look at them as accumulated or whatever terminology you want to use, but the fact remains the losses have been incurred. Now, the ongoing Q3 and Q4 quarters, or the coming Q4 and the ongoing Q3 quarters, obviously because of crude oil trending lower, cash losses have definitely come down to quite an extent. But diesel, I think, continues to be a pain point. So there could be a possibility that, at least some of these demands of the oil cos will be studied in detail by the government, and they will look at options. However, what we're given to understand as of now is that probably the headroom is limited in terms of giving any, cash support, direct cash support. The fact also remains that, technically, prices of diesel and petrol are deregulated, but the fact of life also is that since April 6th, the prices have not been revised. There is a complete freeze, and we have no clarity as to when, that freeze will become an unfreeze. So keeping all of this in mind, I think this matter will go forward. Various options could be looked at in terms of how best the relief can be provided. But I think the bottom line here, as of now, is maybe at this point in time, talking of a straightforward relief looks limited. So we have to keep a watch on this story, basically see how it develops. But as I just mentioned again, I'm just repeating myself that as of now, the talks of any kind of a headroom available and all of that is very, very limited.
Okay, all right. Sapna, thank you so much for joining us. That is all about what's happening in the oil marketing space. But it's time to start with the first corporate on mid-cap radar, RPG Life Sciences. The company delivered strong growth in its India business in the first half of FY23 with several launches in the specialty and chronic segments as well. Nearly 70% of its revenue comes from domestic formulations and the rest from international markets and API sales. Yugal Sikri, who's the MD of RPG Life Sciences, is joining us now to discuss the business outlook. Mr. Sikri, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us. Well, first half has been really strong for your domestic markets, which is a larger chunk of your revenues, as I just mentioned. What is the second half looking like? Will you do better than first half, or will it be equal? What kind of FY23 growth are you looking at?
First of all, let me thank you for inviting me on this channel. Indeed grateful. You talked about H1, and you also talked to me about how do I see H2. Now, the H1 growth story, which give me a few seconds to talk about H1, because H2 depends upon H1. The H1 growth story, from the revenue perspective as well as from the profit and profitability perspective, has been structural. What do I mean by structural? Structural is we have put in place the measures to enhance revenue, which are, in case of the domestic formulation market, which are 5 pillars. And these 5 pillars are expected to contribute in the H2 going forward. And that's what I meant by structure. And what are those 5 pillars? One is the product portfolio transformation. We are transforming the product from an old decades-old product portfolio to new products in the chronic and the specialty space. We have launched 5 monoclonal antibodies. We have a great pipeline ahead of us for those product portfolios, so they are likely to contribute. Second, our strong emphasis on productivity enhancements. We have improved our productivity from 3.4 lakhs to now 5.6 lakhs in the last 3.5 years. And the productivity enhancement measures which resulted are likely to continue. The third one is we are trying to build the strategic assets out of the great textbook iconic brand which we have in our portfolio. That is likely to continue. We have our first product, Naproxen, likely to be the first 100 crore product in our range. That's happening because of a very extensive, comprehensive life cycle management strategy that is likely to continue. The fourth is in our relevant segments, we are expanding our customer coverage. And that drive to expand the customer coverage is also likely to continue. And the last one is very strong focus or emphasis on the profitability improvement via cost reduction. So we have undertaken the first ever formulation re-engineering exercise, product re-engineering exercise. The way we are doing our manufacturing process, we have revisited those manufacturing processes.
Mr. Sikri, yes, I totally get your point. And yes, your numbers in first half are reflecting that, the product transformation that you're talking about, the new molecules that you have, launched as well. So first half growth has been good, 20% on a YY basis for the domestic markets. Whatever you've spoken to us about right now, those 5 pillars of transformation, will second half be better than first half? Will it be the way first half has been?
Yeah, I think which is what I was trying to answer, to tell you that since all these structural measures have been put in place, I expect the growth trajectory to continue. I've been mentioning every time that we expect to grow faster than the market. Currently, the market is growing at 6.6%. We are growing at 19% in our domestic formulation business, and I expect the same trajectory to continue.
Okay, so domestic growth should continue at 20%, right, in the second half of the year. What about...
In the vicinity.
Huh? In
the vicinity of 20%. And I keep saying faster than the market.
Got it. So you will, beat the industry. What about international business, sir? That's about 20% of your revenues. What's the rate of growth expected there?
Yeah, international business is also following exactly what is happening in the domestic formulation business. We are growing healthy double digit now in international business, and that's also thanks to the new products, new customers, and new markets, which is likely to continue going forward.
Okay, all right, Mr. Sikri, it was a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all about RPG Life Sciences. They are on a transformational journey, and that's something that's showing in their numbers as well. For now, we'll do one thing. We'll slip into a short break. The stock, though, has actually spiked slightly from the day's low. We'll take a break, and we'll next have Prashant Pitti, the co-founder at Easy Trip Planners, to discuss the acquisition of stake in Nutana Aviation Capital. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, the next corporate on our radar is Easy Trip Planners. The company has stepped up acquisitions and is set to buy 75% stake in Nutana Aviation Capital IFSC. Prashant Pitti, co-founder of the company, is joining us now to discuss this acquisition that the company has just announced. Prashant, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us. Well, it's a substantial stake that you've bought in the company. Tell us, how much are you paying for this, and what is the company's revenue currently?
Hi, thanks for having me on the show. Well, the amount is yet to be disclosed, so it will come as the time comes closer to acquire the company. But the company at Easy, we are doubling down on our air growth and are adding new vertical to it, which is basically charter business. Now, the air charter is something which is ever growing in demand. Currently, the passengers, whenever they are booking an air charter, they are actually paying for both the sides. If you just want to go from Delhi to Bombay on an urgent trip, you still have to pay for the return. But at Easy Trip, since we are a consumer-driven company, we could generate the demand on both the sides, and hence, let customers only pay for one side. And Nutana basically will help us grow the corporate business on both corporate side and passenger side by allowing them to book on demand.
Got it.
That is what we're looking forward to.
So, Prashant, how big is this charter service market currently in India? What rate is it growing at? What is the potential? And about Nutana Aviation, what is the market share it's captured?
Nutana is only about a year-old company, but we are working with a very strong founder, which is Captain Mandviya, who understands this business inside out. And we look forward to work along with him to grow this company. I believe that the air charter business is anywhere between $2 to $3 billion in India currently. But Nutana would allow us to grow not just in India, but internationally as well. So we are looking forward to add this new vertical to the company and grow along with it.
No, we do understand that, yes, it's a very lucrative proposition as well. But for your investors, give us some numbers, because if they want to gauge the growth that this company or this business can make, what is the base that we are working with? And when you say that the amount is still to be disclosed, can you give us a sense of what would the normal valuation of a business like this would be?
See, a valuation of this business could be anywhere, but I believe that we will be putting substantial amount in the company to allow them to basically buy, lease and rent the air charters, basically the airplanes for the charter purposes. And hence we are looking forward to grow. They basically will in turn, once they buy an airplane, they would basically lease it out to somebody or sell it back to somebody else. So we would want to grow this business asset light, but there will be some substantial amount of monies which will be required, and that we will basically put in the organization.
Prashant, what is the investment that you've outlined for Nutana to grow it? What is the size and scale that you want for the charter service business?
See, we believe that this should be able to, this should be a profitable business, and we believe that this should generate us profits in double digit starting from next year onwards.
So right now, is it profit making, this business?
This business is at very small scale right now. There is no losses or no big revenues which are coming from this.
So not major revenues. So you so right now, when you bought it, it is only basis of future expectations. But right now, you're saying is that not much has been done by this company since it's only a year old.
That is correct.
Okay, so you said $3 billion is the size of the charter market here. What kind of market share are you planning to capture in that case?
This is completely unorganized sector right now. Nutana will basically allow corporates to book charter on demand,
Right.
which is happening over the phone right now or over email. So this in way is something by which we will be creating this market.
So this $3 billion market is fully unorganized, or do you have competitors in this space?
There are some competitors which exist right now, but we look forward to gain the market share as we have EaseMyTrip on our side to help us generate the demand.
Okay, so
both from the consumer side.
I'm trying it for the last time again, since the investors would definitely like to know some numbers as well, Prashant. When you're saying right now there is not much of a revenue or profits here for this company, and you are expecting it in double digits, am I right? That's what you said?
That is correct.
Okay, so next year we can expect any profitability around 10 to 20 crore rupees for Nutana?
We are expecting profits in double digit for the next year onwards.
Okay, and investment amount is something that you can still not tell us, but can you tell us what kind of valuation is the business looking at, say 2 to 3 years down the line?
But 2 to 3 years down the line, I would see that this business should be by itself should be valued anywhere in double digits of millions of dollars.
Okay.
Okay, we leave it at that. Thank you very much, Prashant, for joining in. That's EaseMyTrip on the latest acquisition. They are foraying into the chartered services market, which according to them is fast growing and a very lucrative space. So they are spending their monies to grow big in this space. But it's our Midcap Spotlight segment. Sona?
Yes, so I'm looking at Chemplast Sanmar today. That stock is up 7%, and there has been some news flow as well, because this company has not been doing well because PVC prices have been going down. And today we got to know that Reliance Industries has gone ahead and increased PVC prices by 2,000 rupees per ton. This is effective from today. For the longest time, the sector had been undergoing pressure on prices, and that's why the likes of Astral Limited, Phoenix Industries, all of them told us that there was a lot of pressure on inventory and hence margins as well. Astral did tell us that they expect PVC prices to stabilize from here on. Supreme Industries told us that PVC resin prices have bottomed out now and they expect further increases to come in, and that is what has exactly happened. It is important for Chemplast Sanmar because the company is a specialty chemicals manufacturer which focuses on specialty paste PVC resin and custom manufacturing. So their custom manufacturing business did well last quarter, but not the PVC resin business. They in fact raised their guidance on custom manufacturing business as well. So now, because paste PVC, the prices have been going up, this will be very important for the company because Quarter 2 was very weak, as I said, because of weaker PVC prices. But the company said if PVC prices they stabilize, then Quarter 3 will see some positivity in EBITDA on the PVC side. And that's exactly what has happened. Stock is very cheap as well, trades at 18 times one-year forward earnings. The weakness was, of course, because of PVC prices. Now, that seems to have gotten over. There is some expectation of a price rise. So the key risk remains the PVC spreads. But now that they are going up, there is an expectation that, yes, profitability for the company will improve as well. And that's why this excitement in the stock today, Reema.
Okay, thank you very much for that very interesting analysis done on Chemplast Sanmar. By the way, the Nifty has now breached that 18,900 mark. You know, we were hopeful that, you know, we are soon going to scale the 19,000, but that's not to be. The markets have slipped quite sharply now in the last 10 minutes. Get into a break. We'll come back with more. Back, the Nifty's breached 18,800 right now. We're off about 100 points from the day's high. We're holding on to the green line by just a smidge. There has been a lot of selling coming through in the last 10 minutes. Today is also the weekly options expiry, but we tend to see the big moves only in the last 30 minutes. But today, from 1:30 to 2, banks have started seeing pressure. So IndusInd Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Bajaj Finance, HDFC Bank holding up in the green. But again, it slipped a bit from the day's high. And Reliance Industries, that big boy, has been the biggest contributor to the up move this week. It's rallied 4.5%. But now Reliance Industries as well is on the verge of getting to the flat line. With that, we're going to wrap up on Midcap Radar from the entire team. Thank you for watching.
Co-powered by Century.